Audio. So, what the heck? Not sweatshirt. Alright, YouTube looks good. Alright, cool. Uh, Question of the day. Live notifications out. Good. Start with. I think a lot of people have 2 for 5 odd questions. Start with Packers. Actually, no, they don't have a good playbook. Lions. Yeah, it's Seahawks. I'll use offense. Bears defense. What's up, Davo? How you doing, man? Good. BG's back tomorrow? Glad to hear that. That's true. That'd be awesome. Nice. So he's gonna get the first question for the day. Everyone doing on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Defense you running inside the 10. Majority it's gonna be 3-5 wide. I want to make sure I stop the run a lot. I'd call out cover 4 baseline press out of that for sure. I don't like people being able to run the ball, especially in the red zone. I mean, if you get dotted in the red zone, like I can live with myself getting a passing touchdown in the red zone, especially like if it's on the deep sideline. Like I can live with that, but getting ran on the red zone, that is what really infuriates me because it's really hard to pass. So I like to take away all that majority, not getting ran on the red zone. So 55 wide, cover 4, usually my go-to for that. Baseline press will help it with the sideline as well. Sometimes you can like drag the inside quarters down a little bit too to help with the pass. That helps as well. Fourth and 10 from 10 for the game. What play are you calling on? Oh, mesh spot, 100%. I use the bunch. I got a gun bunch. The same setup that we have on the website. I do the one with a motion slant, like at a mesh post. I sometimes like when I'm like in the open field, I honestly would just put point man on a hitch, but not for the game. I need that route to be able to actually get open. So I'll put him on a slant, like a motion slant, have that little high low, and then that backside wheel. That's kind of my go-to for that. Packers versus Cardinals tomorrow. That game will be phenomenal to watch for sure. That's kind of my go-to for that. Especially as it kills cover 2 and cover 3. Cover 3 gets wide open, that running back wheel. Yeah. Oh, all the Packers wide receivers have COVID? Oh, I forgot that. I honestly just did not put two and two together. Like that Lazard and Tay had COVID and that they were playing tomorrow. Question from Davo. Cover to man in 3-5 wide. Why does my safeties drop inside on a stretch play instead of playing the outside? I put my safeties in QB spy just like in your game plan. So the first initial reaction, the first initial reaction for a QB spy, regardless, is coming down into the box. Like they just come straight down because they're going for the quarterback. So they're still playing their proper things. Yeah, I don't have a face cam on for this. I don't usually do a face cam for office hours. So for this, they do come down in the middle a tiny bit, but to the point where they're gonna fill the gap. Like that's their responsibility. Their responsibility as a safety is to fill this hole like this. I'll pinch my defense. I'm not trying to fill a gap here. I'm letting my safeties do that, and I'm just gonna kind of go on the outside. Because if I try to shoot that gap and the safety comes down in there as well, then he's actually gonna. I'm gonna be screwed because he's gonna have the outside wide open. So just let that safety fill the gap like that. See, boom. There's two safeties right there to make that tackle. Let them do the work, and you just contain the run on the outside. Now, obviously, if you see a really big hole and you can make that tackle, by all means. But that's kind of my go-to for that. Also, another thing you can do, if especially for a stretch run, if it is bothering you, you can have your zone drop set to 0 yards. So let's say, theoretically, if this was a stretch right at like I form, I could put this safety right here in a curl flat, change your zone depths to 0 yards. Same principle as the QB spy, how they come down towards the middle, like towards the quarterback. The 0 yard flat goes and plays its flat, but it's 0 yards. Obviously, zones react horribly to the run, but when they're at a 0 yard drop, they're already coming down. So they're going to go down to the outside, which is honestly more ideal for the stretch runs. However, just having a 0 yard zone drop is really annoying, especially if they pass out of I form. That's why I didn't really cover that in the game plan. Because I knew like a lot of people would probably try to have 0 yard flats and forget to turn that on and off a lot, so I didn't really include that. We've made that YouTube tutorial tip a couple times, and we talk about it a lot in office hours too. So I'll mention that in Discord too. But generally, the spy and the safeties is always usually the best bet. I hope that kind of makes sense though, because now I have a tendency sometimes to kind of mess up how I explain things, but I feel like I kind of explained that. Yeah, it does make sense. Perfect. Cool. Any other questions? Currently, I don't see any on YouTube. I don't see any more on Twitch. I don't see any in the Discord. Oh, also, XX Griff. Another play call you can do at a trips tight end, just verticals and snap throw the middle seam guy in between the thirds. I'm in trips, that's what I'm calling. Otherwise, I'm calling mesh spot and bunch. Those are kind of the two I would go with for that. Play action, make the contains less effective. Honestly, I don't know for sure. I would imagine not, just because I know they work against like boot over, especially on next gen. If you cancel play action, like they still do it. And sometimes if you have play action and your guy just like really sprints to the outside, he still plays. The container will still play him. So I imagine no. I can't guarantee you that that is the case. I'm pretty confident in that answer that it doesn't make it like the contains will still work against play action, but I don't see why they would not. Question from Bbot. You got any concepts out of trips you like against match? Sure. So let me flip the slides real quick. I imagine this would work. I just gotta make sure real quick. This is what I ran last year. I'm almost positive it works this year, as I have ran it before. Double check real quick. And I'm on next gen, so I can actually pass lead the ball. I know it works on old gen. It just pass leading the ball is like really annoying. I'm making audibles. Let's just call. Then they don't have 55 wide. Okay. So do they have cover 4? Wide 9. I imagine this will work, but let me just make sure real quick. Ball. So what I'm gonna do is put the X receiver on a zig, Y on a fade, not a streak, B on a slant. Kind of do whatever you want with A. I just put him on a 10-yard in like that. Now, what you want to do is, last year we would throw Y pretty quickly right after he gets bumped. So let's go see if that is still the case. Yeah, okay. So I mean, not really, because, let me see if I can get this to work a little better. Yeah, you gotta throw that pretty quickly. Obviously, that's not something ideal. I don't like that, honestly, this year. I did it before, and it actually worked really well. See if I can figure out something quick. Yeah, I mean, that's hard to fit in there. I wouldn't call that, honestly. That's a pretty bad play right now. We can go over, like, just kind of how to beat. See, what happens if I just put A on a streak here? Work. I know we have a ton of things on the YouTube channel. Do I have inside cross here? I do not. I'm pretty sure inside cross works against this. Well, my go-to cover 4 beater. I imagine it would work too, because it should be man. This works against cover 4, cover 2, kind of cover 3, depending on how they run it. But so make sure X is your best receiver, fastest. You want to do B on a slant. A has to be on a post route. In might work, and put Y on a flat or something like this. Against a cover 2. Oh, my bad. So this is cover 4. So cover 4, you streak Y. And against cover 2, the slant pulls the half to the sideline. Let's just take a look how this does. Got bumped again. How do you do the Reaper move? So you do a double juke, and then right when you let go of sprint, then you do like the double juke one way, and then you do it back. It's kind of hard to explain. I'll see if I can make a tutorial on it, because that's honestly, I don't even know how to describe that X form. My voice is just going away. Yeah, I definitely prefer to the YouTube channel. For some reason, my computers are just not working right. Is there a hot route to place a receiver lined up on the inside on a stop and go? Yes. So what you're referring to is if you have Hot Route Master or Slot Apprentice, then you can do that. You'll be able to hot route your guys onto a stop and go. I like motioning stop and goes a lot. So let's say, imagine it ran the Cobbs on a stop and go right here. If I want to motion him over to the side, I'm going to wait for him to kind of do a stutter step and snap the ball so he gets that little speed burst right at the end. Obviously, that's not a stop. I mean, it's not the stop and go. But I'll go in instant replay so I can kind of show you how this is. Watch out when I snap the ball, it gets a speed burst upfield. Do it in real time. Okay, that did not look like a speed burst at all, but it actually is. You can take a nice little jump right there, and it'll usually fly by the defender. Best way to attack, don't be about trips. So hitch post slant. This. Now, this, obviously, if they don't see a double Mabel on the right, your running back, your slot receivers are going to be open. You're going to have your slant open, and then you're going to have your post to the tight end open. Ideally, you want to post on the tight end, that way it gets over a lot of things. But yeah, you just kind of throw where the user isn't, because obviously it's the middle of the field is what you're targeting here. So you can snap throw the running back if there is nothing to play him. Ideally, you're looking for your hitch. You know, if the user doesn't play the slant, immediately you can throw that, or he bites the slant, he's the tight end open, vice versa. That's kind of my go-to. You can do things like this. Option routes do really nice. If the tight end flat, something like that if you really wanted to. Option route sits really, really nicely against double Mabel, because it sits like right next to the line of, like the tackles. Now that one works pretty well. It's the best way to attack double Mabel. Kind of what I was just explaining. Obviously that's out of trips, but it's the same principle. Like I got a bunch, You can call this play every single time against double Mabel. It will beat it 100% of the time. In my opinion, this is the easiest thing to do. So, like, watch. Put Y on a flat. Put RB on a slant. If you can, put him on a post. And then, hang on one second. Sorry about that. So, put your running back on an out route like that. RB on a slant or a post. Motion out X. And then you're going to have A or B completely wide open against a double Mabel. Those work really well. Any cover 3 bombs that bunch that work post patch. Yeah, so let me switch. Can I flip the teams? The fade works really well. Option. How do I? You can't switch teams, can you? Go back to that. All right, Seahawks. Wait, do they? Seahawks don't have a. Okay, I can use the Bucks. Bucks do a battle line. Jaguars apparently have people good. There you go. And that's not the Bucks. Go to Seattle bunch. Basically, play is called clear out. You need corner. In my opinion, I think it's a lot easier to bomb cover 3 now, but curious to see how it does against zone drops. I imagine this will work just fine. Oh, you can't switch teams? Oh, interesting. This guy press. Up ball. Okay. So you just leave the tight end on that. RB on a corner. That. And as you can see, that's just the most wide open play you will ever run in this game. So if you're playing against someone in gun bunch that has clear out or just that outside fade, you have to deep half almost every single time or man that up. Just watch this. The corner out takes the outside third. And it's just, I mean, there's literally not a DB on the screen. And all I did was put a corner out there. I'm pretty sure you need the corner. I'll try just putting like an out route, but I'm pretty sure you need the corner. And you can pass it inside and you don't get as much, but that still works. Suggested zone drops. I like my purples on a 5-yard drop, and then I like my regular flats like cloud, soft squat, and hard flats at the 20 yards. Obviously, if you're running match, then you can't do anything. You have to leave like no zone drops on. Yeah. Are you running more cover 2 post patch? No, honestly, not really. I hate cover 2 deeply, unless I'm saying an all-out blitz. Because if you just put an outside fade, usually it bombs cover 2. I don't like it at all. And then a lot of people will say they put a 30-yard drop out there to stop that. I mean, it kind of does, but then you have a 30-yard flat on the field, like leaves the whole sideline open besides the deep. So I'm not really a fan of cover 2 unless I'm blitzing heavily. Or if I will, sometimes I'll put like a third out there and then have like readjust to have another flat out there. But yeah, it's kind of my go-to for that. If anyone is just tuning in, this is the cover 3 bomb. All you do is call a play with that unique fade on the right. This particular play is called clear out. And watch how B gets absolutely wide open more than anything you'll ever see in this game. Look at that. Crazy. Can you have some drops on your curl flats? They still run match on the soft squats? No. No. I don't believe so, no. Because if you put a zone drop on your hook curls, it cancels out match entirely. So I would imagine no. Best way to stop bunch halfback strong verts while running. Let's go and take a look at this. I think is that the Bucks playbook? I have another controller. Oh, I do have another controller this time, actually. Where's my batteries? Let me get batteries in this controller real quick. That way I can actually make the adjustments you would like to see. Batteries in real quick. All right, perfect. It works. And oh, I have to sync the. Okay, weird. How do I sync on the new Xbox? I think I got it. Sorry about this. I think it's doing it. Aha! There we go. Go to Packers. And let's go Bucks. Defense. Go Chicago. And Detroit. And then this will be, I guess, Bucks. Okay, cool. You switch your zone drop to down, depending on what I'm calling, yeah. Generally, if it's in the open field, no. Just unless it's like a 3rd and 2, then I'll have like a 0-yard drop sometimes. If they're calling flood, I'm doing 0 and 10. It kind of depends on like what I'm facing, honestly. Generally, no. But sometimes I will. All right, so bunch halfback strong, verticals of the wheel route. Starting 2-4-5 odd. Let's just go cover 3. On to the wide side. Yeah. Are you running zone play one? I don't like match personally, even though I struggle against match. I don't know how to run it properly. I don't know my responsibilities for match. Honestly, I just haven't had the time to play it. Obviously, I know like cover 4. But yeah, I just know a lot of people know how to bomb match pretty easily, so I don't really trust it. I just like know where my guys are at all times personally, and I don't feel comfortable in match. That's why I don't do it. Okay, so let's go. So is it just vertical like this? There's no other adjustments. It's halfback strong verts with the running back wheeling on the same side of the bunch. So it's just this. I just run man. Or cover 2. You just run cover 3 and just man up the tight end, and nothing's gonna get open. What gives you the most trouble against this? Honestly, that's kind of start with that. Just something that gives you the most trouble. I'll just go ahead and call this. Now, obviously, the tight end's open there, right? So here's what you should do. Man up the tight end with like one of these guys. Like that. So this is the defense. Man that up. Running back wheel. Absolutely nothing's open. Yeah, just man up the tight end. How do you stop clear out SE? You got to man at the tight end, and you got to deep half. So if they're doing the cover 3 bomb out of that, you have to deep half on the bunch side so they don't do that, or you can man it up. And then to stop the tight end, you can man that up as well, because that route does not beat man. You have somebody like usable. Can you describe the difference between the cover 4 covers, palms, quarters, etc.? Kind of relates back to what I just kind of previously said. I am not the best with match, but if I recall correctly, cover 4 quarters matches from the outside in, I want to say. So like if you have like an outside guy on a zig, and then like the slot guy on like a fade, the inside quarter will match the fade, whereas Palms is like inversely, I think. It goes inside out. It takes away the inside threat before the outside threat. I think It's one of those two. Like those are the two differences. Taking away the inside, the out, whatever one of those is first. They call cover bombs out a bunch. You should just be able to call this and flip sides real quick. I just caught it hitting A. I mean Brady. Oh gosh. Should you be able to call it flood? Hey, doing Kings. I have trouble sometimes when I do exactly look at them. For example, if they start the end of cover 2 shell, but then adjust it to like half cover 2 quarter. So you can't really tell from like a first glance what they do, like if they're in one thing and the other. If you can tell the base defense, but once you make adjustments, like the players don't move, so you can't really tell per se. So this should be cover 4 palms, just flood stock. And never mind, no, it does not. But that gets open. I am not exactly sure why it doesn't work. To be honest, I'm not streaking B work now. Even streaking B doesn't work anymore. Secure protected better than stop. Yeah, I definitely do. Play this. And that is wide open for sure. I'm not exactly sure why that's not working. I imagine if like this. And that doesn't work either. So I'm not sure actually. I use Edge Protector. Obviously Secure Protector would be better than Edge. It costs more AP, so that's why I don't use it. But Edge Pro does a pretty good job for me. Well, this is kind of weird, actually. We have cover 4 bombs in the bunch game plan. Obviously, I don't want to reveal some of those. I'm trying to just kind of freestyling this. I mean, if you have someone really fast, that kind of works, but not something that I would ever throw. Yeah, I'd definitely refer you to check out the bunch game plan by John Beast and Clef. They break down how to beat cover 4 pretty well. There's definitely stuff on the YouTube channel. I just don't know any of the things outside of those setups, how to beat cover 4 match, and I obviously don't want to reveal those because they're kind of specific setups that are unique to the game plan. Yeah, and in regards to reading a defense, you know, look where the corners are lined up prior to the press. Look at the defensive line alignment. Look where the outside corners are lined up inside or outside the receiver. Dolphins got Watson. Wait, actually? First, if they did, wasn't Washington like getting 2 or something? That'd be interesting. How about that? Yeah, we cover a lot of how to read coverages really, really well. In the meta buster, specifically for 335 wide. Yeah. Yeah, I am seeing some reports that Deshaun Watson is now going to be heading to Dolphins. Interesting. I mean, I thought that's okay fit for him. Do you guys have any further questions on anything else? Hey, Digital Pimp with the Twitch Prime. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that, my guy. Thank you very much. I'm not gonna lie, that just almost made me jump because I don't have music on right now, and I totally forgot my music was really loud in my headset from earlier, and that just blasted in my ear. Thank you, man. I really appreciate the Twitch Prime sub. What other questions do you guys have that I could answer right now? Appreciate the follow as well. Oh, is this thing glitched? Is there anything else you guys would like me to kind of figure out for you guys? Especially the match-related questions. I know I really didn't kind of give the answer you were kind of looking for, probably, is I'm pretty bad against match myself. The YouTube channel has a ton of ways to beat match. Just go to the YouTube channel, type in how to beat match, like whatever match it is, and it'll show you a bunch of different ways. And obviously the game plans too. Are you coming out with a offensive ebook? I don't know our content schedule outside of the what's coming this week, next week, whatever. We have defense dropping next. Outside of that, I'm not sure what we're gonna be doing. As for Huddle, personally, I have a Trips Tight End sub ebook for my Twitch subs. Outside, I'm not exactly sure if I'll be dropping anything or not yet. I have to talk with ANCAP and see what he would want to do. The best way to pick up dollar? Are you asking about the cover 2 blitz? I don't have. See if there is a. Ah, I mean, like dime, like kind of similar. At baseline, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. The cover 2 blitz is really popular right here. So what you want to do is you want to ID. Well, you want to slide to the left and ID the outside corner. So let's say they're blitzing from the left slot. Slide that way and ID the outside corner. That way your tackle goes all the way out, especially with the slide protection. I mean, the slide protection and the ID in the outside corner, they go really far out. If that guy on the right still comes in, you can delay fade your tight end, or you can slide to the left and then ID this guy. Kind of up to you. Let's see how this would work right here. Yeah, see how it just kind of comes in? So you kind of need to block. They are sending 5, and especially a delayed one. Yeah, you definitely try to just slide to the left, block that running back, and you'll be able to kind of pick it up. Yeah, that blitz is honestly like super annoying to play against. Block your tight end, like a delay fade, and you should be fine. Delay fades are really good. What's the best playbook for the Ravens? That kind of depends on what you want to run on offense, honestly. Like, do you want to run a spread? I think you should definitely have an offense that you kind of are a scrambling type of quarterback with Lamar Jackson, especially with how good his escape artist is this year. You're definitely going to want that. As for what's the best, yeah, it's really up to you. I think Bunch is great. I think Trips is great. What offense do you run though? I got to start with that first. From the Packers bunch, you can deep corner and streak tight end and bonk over bombs. Perfect. Take a look at that. I actually have Troy playbook as equipped, I believe. Let's play real quick. You run bunch? I would probably recommend Seattle because they have bunch tight end and gun bunch, and they have clear out, which is pretty good to have. John Beast's bunch is really good on the website. All those would be really good. Definitely check those out. John's bunch would be really good. Run deep corner and shoot. Okay, so I can replicate deep corner actually. This. Not, hang on. Choose to play. I can go. I know I can do. Hang on 1 second. Here's a punch shot. That'll work. Okay. Let's go to cover 4. Flop running back. Deep corner has, I think it's a comeback, so motion Tay out, put it on the corner, bring back in. That. I don't know if I did that right or not. Or is deep corner have that deep in route? Might have that deep in route, doesn't it? It probably is. Oh, streak the tight end? Ah! Oh, versus palms, not quarters. Okay. Let's see if this will work, though. Okay. Interesting. I'll try just to make sure that doesn't work against quarters. Worth a try. Yeah, okay. I can see what you mean. Okay, so yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Palms is the outside in for sure. This way the outside there before the inside. Okay, that's cool. Good enough. Thank you. Can you slide you the sub tips? Sure. Um, there you go. It should see right there. All you have to do is just link your account to HuddleGG, your Huddle account to your Twitch account. Good to go. Hey, people, have a good night, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Always happy to help, man. What other questions do you guys have that you would like me to cover? I have two controllers, so I can actually do a lot of stuff that whatever you guys would like to see. You guys want some tips how to run 245 odd, spread, bunch? You guys like shoot the run in 245 odd per se? How do you create better plays for offense? It's an interesting question. So the first thing you want to do for offense is you need route spacing. So obviously, if I were to just call like spacing switch and put B on a hitch, that's terrible because all the routes are right next to each other. So a good example would be like spacing switch here. I'd put like RB on a slant or something like that. So it gets him out the way and you put the user in conflict because now you have two hitches on the opposite side of the field with an out route and like a post over the middle. Route spacing. That's just really the principle of it. Well, there's a cover for palms, or cover for quarters play right there. You have someone fast right there. Call this. I don't know what I called there. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. All right. Well, apparently that beats cover four quarters. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Route spacing. Have your hitches. Have your routes spread out well. Like for example, this play, right? There's two like kind of setups you could do for this. I put B on a flat. That way it opens up that tight end wheel. If you want to open up this crosser, you can put Y on an out route and have that streak to clear out the third. Oh, also clear out routes. You need clear out routes to clear out zones from a certain area of the field. So you have your intended route. For me, this is the crossing route right here. They get open in that. So that's pretty much kind of how you formulate an offense. Clear out routes, route spacing, and go from there. Find things that are kind of unique to each playbook, a unique route that can't be found, like spacing switch. I can't put B on that route. I can't put A, RB, X. I can't put any of the wide receivers or tight ends on that route. So unique to that play and formulate route concepts around that. How do you catch the ball and lay down? Right before you catch the ball, it says A or I guess X on PlayStation. It says possession catch. So watch if I press B, I spam A, secure catch, he catches it and falls down. When I deep hat my cornerback, I still get bombed from clear on cover 3. So it can't. Don't do the outside guy. So if cover 3, right, don't deep half this. Don't deep half the B receiver. You have to deep half this guy. So it should, from a stock adjustment, it'd look like this. That's what you need. This guy right here and a deep half. And this guy, like an outside quarter or deep zone, will help play it. Obviously, you can fade B. Can. Then you just gotta worry about the tight end with your user, which is why I like manning up the tight end, because that takes you way out of the play. I just like having this deep half out there to take that away. Yeah, that will having this guy to deep half right there will play it. Unless they motion out the outside receiver, then same aspect how it beats cover 2, it'd get outside that deep half on the right, near the sideline, like a sideline catch. What else do you guys like me to go over? And then your trouble against. Also, how to stop clear out. We also have a breakdown on the Huddle YouTube channel as well. All right, my bad. The Huddle Meta Buster. Really good way to stop that. You have the free safety instead of the cornerback. Not the corner, the safety. This guy right here. This guy should be in the deep half. And you can do whatever you want with this guy. Personally, I like putting him on a outside quarter because it kind of helps with a lot of other things you could possibly see. Like that. That way he kind of plays more towards the sideline. Yeah. Kind of my go-to for that. You base on all time, or wait, do you? What do you mean? You asked him if I baseline or? I only baseline at a 245 odd. That's it. Question from Griffiths. How do you defend seeing about Deuce Close with Lamar and Kyler and Rex? Is this next gen or current? Or I guess old? Next, okay. First things first, obviously the stretch is pretty good against this, so that's kind of annoying. I honestly just pinch my defense and then contain. But for like rollouts, let's say copy a misdirection for this. Nickel wide. I like a little match, honestly, and then contain like that. And then when they snap ball, see how I can't roll out there at all. Especially on that inside guy. And then another thing you can do too. Let's say I want to roll out to the right, right? And the defense didn't contain. You could obviously you have to formulate coverage around this, but you can drag this guy out and just blitz him so he's not on the contain. This guy will take the outside man, and then the corner on the right will come in free. So I kind of watch this. I can't roll out there. No matter if it's Lamar Jackson or whoever it is, you can't roll out against a contain and an outside corner blitzing. Generally, someone who's running deuce close is just going to try to attack the sideline almost every single play. So that would kind of help you with that. So how do you run faster after the catch using square? It doesn't work. So you want to hold the right trigger down. You don't want to press any buttons. You want to hold the right trigger down. That's the sprint button. The best run defense in Tampa Bay. I believe they have 3-5 wide. Let me double check. Yeah, 55 wide. Definitely go with that. Just cover 2 man, spy both safeties. General run defense for that. You can just also just pinch your defense. They got a Mike blitz, and they play the run fairly well. Obviously, they might get a couple yards, like 2, 3, if that. But if your opponent wants to run for 2 yards every play, like I feel like you're doing your job. Like that's really, especially this year, that slows down the offense a lot. What about situational play calling? I mean, as this offense defense like situation we're looking at, I need some information for that. But Griffiths, does that kind of answer your question a little bit? How to stop that? I feel like that's a really good way to stop deuce close, like such your rollouts, contain like an outside corner blitzing. Yeah, and Master, like for as terms for situational play calling, like it's a really broad question. I mean, obviously, if you want to clock somebody so they don't get the ball back, you need to run the ball, don't go too far deep, take your check downs a lot, control the clock, run it down as much as you possibly can so they don't get the ball. You can run the ball a lot, set up play action or deep passes, simple kind of concepts like that. As for defense, if it's a third and long, I don't trust zones in this game whatsoever. I think a large majority of them are pretty bad. So one thing I'm doing is I'm going to trust my user. So I'm going to blitz a ton of people. I'm going to blitz probably 8 and just have outside thirds out there. 2 outside thirds and a middle third. I'm blitzing the whole team besides my user. One thing you can do, sometimes you can mix in coverage. I don't send 4 ever unless it's like a corner. I'm doing like a nice little blitz from the edge. I never send just 4 D linemen. I'm either sending 3 or 5. That's kind of something like that too. I'm on old gen. When I catch the ball, I use square to rack it, but instead of square, just right trigger. Saying no, you press the rack, and then you just hold the trigger and you'll sprint. You don't hold X. Once you catch the ball, you don't hold X. You hold the right trigger. That's been in Madden for. It doesn't matter if it's old or next gen. That's always in it. Obviously, if your guy's slower than the DB running after you, you're gonna get caught from behind. But outside of that, that's pretty. That's how you do it. So I'm trying to figure out how people have so much time rolling out. I mean, obviously, the more pressure you can put on the quarterback, the better. Um, if you don't have good pass rushers, they're not going to win. But generally, a 3-man. I mean, the blocking mechanics this year are fundamentally better against like a 3-man rush. I think it's still bad against like a 4 or 5. Um, but yeah, just send 4 or 5. I like sending 5, but setting 3 is not the best unless you're doing like a unique setup or something like that. If you're sending 2, especially from last year, you're sending 2 is basically the same as sending 4. Actually, it was the same last year. Sending 2 people was the same exact. You get the same pressure as sending 4. So when just run 3-5 wide, send 2, blitz your user, and the defense would think you're sending 3, and you get the same pass rush. So they made a big emphasis this year on how to counter that. So best run in Carolina. I get to that right after this question from Dad. Best move in the pocket. So snap the ball and step up. Okay, well, me. So you snap the ball, you do your drop step, and then you take a step up. You watch where the shed is. I mean, Vita Vea might just be like God. Do we not press the right trigger? If you press the right trigger behind the line of scrimmage, they do shed. Yes. Generally, you want to watch where the sheds. I mean, the ball. I mean, all right, Packers. Like, can I show how to do pocket presence? Like, I have good pocket. Like, can we? Like, can I like do something, please? I'm gonna double teams. So watch where the shed comes from, and then step around it like that. Then step back into the pocket. stop and instant replay because I mean the Packers O line is just terrible, or the Bucks line D line's just the best. So watch how Vita Vea sheds right here. See how he sheds right there, but goes to the left. Once you see that, you step to the right where the guy that didn't get thrown, like see how 71 just got thrown? 70 doesn't. So once you finish your drop back, you step up. By the time you step up, that's generally when the inside guy is going to shed. You want to step to the right around him. That way he re-engages in the block. Now, you see how the 43 guy is coming to come block me? I'm stepping up back into the pocket. I mean, this line is just abysmal. This is blocking Vita Vea, just turning backwards. Yeah, once you step back into the pocket, usually the left guard or whatever guard that got beat is actually going to block that guy that's trying to come in, tackle you. And then once that's blocked, then there's no QB spies or anything that you can scramble. But let's go look at some run formation in Carolina real quick. Go to the Huddle website. I think this is working. Okay, cool. So playbooks, database, Carolina. Let's see. Off the top of my head, Dude's Close is good. Watch This might have a trap. Right. Close. Okay, take a look at all these. So Seamac Deuce Close has a stretch. This is really good. Dive is fantastic. The stretch and dive are fantastic. Got a Deuce Close. Think about Deuce Close, run that. Y trips. Don't run that. Seamac Wing. Halfback stretch alert smoke. That'll be decent. Toss is terrible. This would be bad. This has a motion, so that's a give. That's a tell. Don't run that. Wing tight, dive, stretch, zone weak, duo, belly weak. Those are all cool. Eye from close, stretch, inside zone. Those are really good. Eye tight, obviously really good. Stretch, power O, ISO. ISO is great for the goal line. Power O is kind of open field. Stretch is also kind of for the open field. Yeah, that's what I would go with for that, personally. Those are all usually the best for that. What's the good run defense? That'd be 55 wide. Cover 2 man. Spy safety. So cover 2 man. I think 55 wide. Spy. Snap ball. Tackle. Adding more pressure from your pass rushers. Pass committing helps a ton. Having things like abilities like unpredictable or things like that. That helps a ton. But yeah, having the high overall, pass committing, crash your D line out or in, like that. And besides like blitz setup like 335 Sam, we have a unique blitz setup where it lets the outside guy come in completely free. That's an ideal setup to generate some pressure as well. Do you believe it is possible right now to run the spread playbook effectively? You can run any offense in this game effectively besides running the ball at a high level. I believe someone made it to final 16, I want to say, or really deep, like final 8 of the winners bracket running coach suggestions. Were some of my friends capping potentially about it just because they lost to him? Probably, but there was someone who just ran random formations and beat some of the best players in the world that were obviously favorites to win the whole tournament. So you can run anything on offense this year. Just with how bad zones are, how bad the user is, just don't throw at people. And obviously it's really hard to blitz people and get a lot of quick pressure because how slow the game is. On next gen, gotta make that read. Ability glitch in Mutt? Honestly, I don't even know if there is a most feared ability glitch. I didn't know that was a thing. Because they don't allow that in comp. I mean, Griffiths, I'm not gonna lie, like when I'm streaming sometimes, like near the end of my stream, like if I'm just getting like kind of bored or whatnot, and just wanna have some fun, I'll run coach suggestions and I am not. I am definitely more of a system player. I can't go out like one of the best examples is K-Mac, for example. He can just run any offense and he'll be very, very good regardless. I think that's why personally I've always told him that I think that's like one of his best attributes is that he can just hop in an offense and just kind of runs it. That's like me on offense. I can't do that at all. It takes me like just the offense and defense. Honestly, it takes me a while to learn. I think offense is definitely harder than like, learning defense because obviously there's so many things you got to do. But yeah, it's, that's one of my biggest problems. But got a question. I'm a true football nerd and I don't understand Madden physics. But why the hell does 3-4 bear do so terrible with the run and 4-6 bear? That is honestly a fantastic question. I wish I could tell you that any real life aspect of this game would apply to Madden because they're trying to replicate the speed movement of players, but they don't take in fact formation shifts and things like that. I I wish I knew. The game, I'll be honest, the game just doesn't really work like that. You know, it's better to have 3D linemen and 6 safeties and 55 wide than 8 linebackers on the field versus the run. So it is what it is. That's just how the run fits are. I mean, obviously in Madden 23-4 was the best defense, but ever since then, linebackers are just useless. They don't animate or really do anything. I will say they don't get blown off the ball as much as safeties, but yeah, and that's honest. That's just my honest opinion on the matter. Honestly, it's pretty bad how that all happens. We got about 2, 3 more minutes. Does anyone have any final questions? Did you try the prevent bomb? What do you mean? What prevent bomb are you referring to? You know, yeah, I got about 2 more minutes. If you guys have any more questions, and then the office hours will be ending after that. Check Discord real quick. I don't see anything in Discord. I don't see anything on Twitch and or YouTube anymore for the questions. Yeah, coach suggestions. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely annoying to play against. And I know a lot of people ask how to defend coach suggestions, and I tell them to run match coverage because match works great versus a lot of stock plays. Best ability to the D line. Unpredictable. El Toro, double or nothing. Those all work pretty well. Dagger, trio flex, drag outside of it. That's been a match beater for years. I imagine that would work. I just had a Trey Y though. Or like it's a chip tight end offset too. I believe it's have that too. Do I have games on my phone? Sure. I used to play Clash. Clash is fun last year. I haven't played that recently much, but outside that, not really, no. Got about 1 more minute. If anyone has any final questions, check Discord. Discord is good. I'm ignoring your question. I just said your question. I just said it. El Toro, double or nothing. Unpredictable. Those 3 are really good. Have you tried Red Zone Threat? I have not personally, so I don't really know. I have had that agged on me before. So I know it will work. How do you defend the crosses from trips to end? 30-yard flat or 25 will usually do the trick. Also, definitely check out the Meta Buster on the Huddle website. We have a section dedicated strictly to trips to end crossers. And no problem, Joey. I mean, I also talk kind of fast, so Apologies on that. Red zone offense pass concepts. Spacing switch at a gun bunch or attacking the seams like at a trip tight end is really, really good. I kind of covered that a little earlier. But yeah, those do really, really well. I would go a couple minutes over, but I actually have to run right now. I gotta go. So I appreciate all you guys for tuning out to the office hours as well. But final answer for that, verticals out of trip side end, that middle wide receiver gets really well open against cover 3, and then spacing switch out of gun bunch, like slant the middle guy. You have high lows on both the outsides. That's really well. No problem, Devo. I'm always happy to help you guys out. Any further questions? I'll be able to answer things throughout the night in the Discord. Hope you guys all have a great night. Obviously, all the best breakdowns on the Huddle website. So, have a good night, everybody. Hope you guys all have a great Halloween. 1v1 you and Madden. Okay. Have a good night, everyone.